Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Hope y'all have had a great Wednesday and hope y'all are all having a great work week so far. We're going to continue to talk about the tropics and what is now Tropical Depression 18 and what is likely going to be Tropical Storm Sam here in the next day or so, probably. Some things have shifted, and it looks like they've shifted into a better direction as far as potentially not affecting land, but there is still a shot that it will do so. There's a lot to figure out, but this is what's going to be Sam, which we talked about a lot in the video last night, and it's definitely looking a lot better tonight than it did last night. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. We're going to talk about where it could potentially go, how strong it can get, and maybe some potential impact for someone down the road. And that's what we're going to talk about. It's now forecast to become a major hurricane by the National Hurricane Center. So it's a pretty big deal. So we're going to definitely have a big-time hurricane out there, but where it's going to go is going to be a big question. So that's what we're going to break down. My video did very well last night, so I just want to thank y'all for all the new subscribers that subscribed to my channel. I know that my setup's probably not some insane setup like a lot of other people who do the weather on YouTube, but keep in mind that I'm continually trying to improve my setup. I'm going to get a computer here in the next few weeks and upgrade my setup and make this a little bit more appealing for the audience. So thank y'all for the amazing support. I know a lot of people say don't worry about your setup, but to me, I do want to get it better for you guys and have a better setup. So thank y'all for the amazing support. I've been a little under the weather this week. I've had the crud. I don't have COVID. I got tested, thank the good Lord. But man, there's just been a lot of little things. So thank y'all for keeping me in your thoughts and prayers. And if anybody has any prayers or anything they need, definitely put it in the comments so we all can pray for you. But let's get going here. So like I said, this is Sam, and this is really what we're going to talk about. I do want to briefly mention the cold front's moving through the entire eastern U.S. right now. It's digging a little bit further southeast before it makes it to the northeast. But I'll tell you what, on my Twitter, if you guys don't follow me on Twitter, would like to talk weather on there too. There's a link in my YouTube channel. But I posted a picture of the sunset we just had in the Midlands of South Carolina, which is where I live. And it was stunning. I mean, it was beautiful. Just an awesome way to switch air masses. So definitely a beautiful skies this evening. But these are dew points. Dew points will continue to filter in across the eastern U.S. Dry air will move in. So by the time you guys are waking up, saying the Carolinas, Virginia, Georgia, Alabama, you already have seen a lot of dry air. The Panhandle of Florida, it is definitely going to. You're going to wake up and be like, there is fall. Temperatures are going to be in the 50s, maybe some 40s. In fact, there was some place on Mount Mitchell in North Carolina where they reported a couple flakes of snow up there. I don't know if that's confirmed, but on the dash cam up there, or on the cam up there, it looked like there was a couple flakes of snow falling. That's crazy for September 22nd, which is the technical first day of fall. So let's go on and switch away from here and talk about what is going to be Sam. Here it is out here. It's looking pretty good for a tropical depression. It has a nice low-level circulation under all this mid-level convection, and it is slowly strengthening. It might be Sam as early as overnight into tomorrow. And we look at the latest forecast. Well, first off, we'll check out Rose. Rose is a depression. Peter is depression. You have a new area that could potentially develop that's not going to bother anybody. But 18, Tropical Depression 18, which will be Sam, is really what we're talking about here. And it is going to be a tropical storm by the time we get overnight into tomorrow. And look at this M. Forecast to become a major hurricane, which is a Category 3 or higher as we get into early part of next week. This could change. But this is going to be a big hurricane regardless if it doesn't impact anybody. And the potential to be our next major hurricane. All model guidance is really pointing to this. So this is going to be a big dog hurricane regardless of if it affects anybody, but we still need to figure out if it will. Let me try to make this a little bit bigger for y'all. So if I cough in my videos, my bad, guys. Like I said, I'm a little under the weather. But going forward here as we're getting into this weekend, this could be an all-out hurricane. This is the area we're looking at right here. It's showing a sub 990 millibar storm as we get into Sunday evening this weekend. And it looks like it's about to bear down on the Lesser Antilles here. But look at it. The latest European has begun to, it's crazy. There's always a war on basically in the weather world if the GFS or the European is better. Well, I'd say over the last 2 years, the GFS has been dominant over the European model as far as the tropics. And it looks like the European is ticking towards the GFS, which was going wild with going this out to sea, and the European was having this colliding with the Greater Antilles and heading towards the Bahamas, and eventually maybe having its eyes set on Florida. But since then, it looks like this is trending a little bit more north and east, and it has it going more out to sea as a major hurricane. But you guys in Bermuda need to watch out for this scenario for sure, because this is going to tick. If we were looking at this as if this was going to occur, this looks like it's going to get a little bit further west than Peter and Larry did. So need to watch out for this. You look at the latest GFS, and it's not really much different. Here it is. It's strengthening into a hurricane as early as late this weekend, and maybe interacts with a little bit of a tut, but strengthens very quickly into a sub 960 hurricane, which could be a Category 2, Category 3 hurricane, and is a little bit further northeast than the European. So model guidance in general today has trended towards more of a less threatening scenario for landmass in general. So that's good news, but there's still a lot to figure out. And I got a feeling as we get into October, here in the next several days, we're going to start to see the Caribbean pick up some activity. This is prime time for the Caribbean to spin up something as you get into October. You look at last hurricane season, and we weren't even close to done. I mean, we still had to get through Zeta, I believe Delta. There was a lot of there was still a lot of tropical activity to go. So it's been decently quiet for the last, you can't say it's been quiet because we had Hurricane Nicholas hit Texas that kind of spun up quick. But it has not been, it's been quiet compared, if you compare anything to last year. That's what I'm saying. So GFS has this going out to sea. You look at the latest European ensembles here, and I'm going to take a look at the steering currents and what's promoting such strengthening of SAM here in a second. So stick with me here. But you look at the latest European ensembles, there's still some members that go south here. This is the red right here. Never mind this area that shoots out here. This green, that's what's left of Peter. This is going to be Sam. And there's still some members that take that more southerly route, but there's a lot of members that go out to sea too. You look at the GEFS ensembles with the GFS ensembles here. And this is Sam getting going here. It's really consolidated. It's pretty much choosing that same path from here into this weekend. It's pretty much not set in stone, but obviously if it's a little bit more south in latitude, then it's going to probably go a little bit more southwest, a little bit more north than guidance. It's going to go a little bit more northeast. So moving forward here, guidance begins to spread apart as it gets closer to the Lesser Antilles. And then you got some members that are strong and wants to flirt with the Bahamas, and you got a lot of members that go on and start heading north and then back out to sea. So, and the reason is, and we'll take a look at why this is strengthening so much. There's no shear. We're getting into Friday, getting into the weekend. There's no shear. It's got very favorable upper level winds. So it's basically creating its own environment. It's not a nice outflow, so it's preventing and it's protecting itself and creating its own environment and protecting itself from any kind of shear. And that looks to remain the case maybe through the rest of the month, which is how long we're going to continue talking about this. What this allows it to do is kind of create its own environment. I know it's going to be kind of hard to see on your screen, but you see this green area right here, and you see these areas of brown, that's drier air. Well, this has a nice tight circulation, so it has a nice moist environment. Therefore, it's not allowing any dry air to get into its circulation. So it's just rolling, creating its own environment. Even if there's dry air on all sides of it, it's got a nice moist environment and it's protected. So it's not going to weaken. You look at steering currents, and what's going on here is we look at the GFS and look at the European, but what's going on is now that subtropical ridge doesn't look substantial anymore. In fact, it finds a clear weakness, which you can see clear as day, which is the blue area. It's like a cutoff low or a cold front, and it gets pulled in very quickly, and it heads on out. And the European kind of shows the same thing. As it shows the storm coming up, a weakness shows up, and it starts to head north, but a little bit further, so it gets a little bit more west. So obviously, the stronger the storm gets in the near term, I think the higher chances is going to turn north because it's going to fight to find that weakness a little bit better. Weaker storms just tend to kind of meander around, and they tend to, or influenced by different currents and different levels of the atmosphere a lot more. Therefore, if you have a stronger storm, it's influenced more by basically wind speeds, wind direction, and the upper levels of the atmosphere. I'm trying to explain it in the best way for you guys to understand. But other than that, what you can take away from this video is it looks like we've got a better trend towards a less threatening scenario. So that's all I got, guys. I'll keep you updated on the storm and anything else that's going on. Enjoy the fall weather because it's going to be an awesome next several days. So God bless everybody, and y'all have a great night.